Today's video, I'm going to share with you 7 mistakes which I have done during my career. I really wish I hadn't, and I definitely hope that you wouldn't. Hi everyone, my name is Somi. I'm an IIT Delhi and ISB Hyderabad grad, and for the last 10 years, I have been working in management consulting and banking. On this channel, I share my career experiences in the hope that you can take away something from it as well. So, if that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing to the channel. Okay, talking about some of the career mistakes that I have done in life. Now, these are mistakes which I have learned the hard way, and these are things जो यूजुअली लोग वीडियोस में बताते नहीं है या बात नहीं करते इसके बारे में, which is specifically why I wanted to make this video, so that I hope that you take away something from it and you don't repeat the same mistakes as me. So let's get started right away. Mistake number 1 is less communication with senior leaders. Now, जब मैंने just काम करना शुरू किया था ना, obviously I was working in a few projects जिसका vision senior management decide कर रही थी, जिसका overall approach senior management was talking to the client as well. But I was the junior most person. There were a few people above me as well at an associate level or senior consultant level. The mistake that I did was I did a lot of work, but I did not keep the management informed of the work that I'm doing. और उससे हुआ ये कि the middlemen who were there between me and the manager, of course, I mean, there could be different cases. Sometimes the middle people could be incompetent. वो इतने अच्छे से काम नहीं कर रहे होते हैं, and they would like to throw the blame on you. Other times what will happen is they are good enough, but different level में communicate होते होते कई चीजें translation में गुम जाती है, like it gets lost. And as a result, what happens is you end up doing a lot of work which may or may not be in the right direction, and later you show it to your manager and he or she dismisses your work and you have to do it again. So it's a very chaotic and not a pleasant experience, right? मेरे साथ ऐसा हो रखा है. I remember this one project where exactly यही हुआ था. मैं अपने मैनेजर को ज्यादा बताती नहीं थी कि मैं क्या कर रही हूँ. मैं अपने सिर्फ सीनियर कंसल्टेंट से डेली बेसिस पे काम करती थी. फिर जब उस प्रोजेक्ट का रेटिंग आया, मुझे ना इतना अच्छा रेटिंग नहीं मिला उस प्रोजेक्ट में, एंड दैट टुक मी बाय सरप्राइज बिकॉज उस प्रोजेक्ट में मैंने बहुत मेहनत करी थी. एंड दैट इज व्हेन आई वेंट एंड हैड अ चैट विद माय मैनेजर. आई told her that all of these things I have done, and despite that I've got such a poor rating which is not according to my expectations at all. So where am I going wrong? उस टाइम पे उस मैनेजर ने मुझे बोला था कि सी आई हैड नो आइडिया दैट यू हैड डन ऑल दीज थिंग्स. मेरे को उतना ही पता था जितना मेरे सीनियर कंसल्टेंट ने मुझे बोला था, राइट? एंड दैट डे शी गेव मी अ ह्यूज लाइफ लेसन. शी टोल्ड मी, ड्यूरिंग दिस प्रोजेक्ट यू हैड नॉट सेट अप एनी टाइम विथ मी. You should have done that so that I could have been in the loop, because I am the one who is managing this entire project. And that lesson has stayed with me forever. You guys should also learn from this. Keep your management in loop of the work that you are doing always, and you don't have to overstep the middlemen in the process. तुम regular catch up कर सकते हो. You can put like a 2-weekly, bi-weekly kind of a meeting, 30-minute meeting on your manager's calendar, and use that time to discuss all the work that you are doing. And that can be like your one-on-one catch-up where manager तुम्हें बताएगा कि तुम सही direction में हो कि नहीं. If you are facing any issues in that project, you can raise it then and there itself, so on and so forth. With that, moving to mistake number 2, which was not attending the informal events that your office organizes. I'm an introvert and I don't enjoy being in crowds, right? Which is why naturally, whenever there were office events, I consciously chose to sit out of them. क्योंकि मुझे लगता था कि काम तो मैं कर ही रही हूँ, पार्टीज तो enjoyment के लिए है, मुझे नहीं करना enjoy. I have my different ways of enjoying life, so I will focus on that. But big mistake. These informal events are meant for team building. They are not for recreational purposes. Recreation के लिए companies इतना फालतू का पैसा वेस्ट नहीं करेगी तुम पे. होता ये है ना कि informal parties में लोग Actually जब बातें करते हैं तो they are not talking about work, they are talking about personal things, they are talking about out of work things, and that is when you build a personal connect and an actual relationship with the people in your company. It could be your colleagues or it could be your seniors, anyone, and that personal connect goes a long way in your day-to-day job as well. कई बार ऐसा होता है कि we hit a point where we need help from someone else. They have nothing to benefit from that work. So they may or may not be invested in your work. But if they're a friend of yours, then if you ask them to help, then they're more likely to help, right? And that's the kind of one-on-one relationship or the personal connect or the friendship you build only during the informal parties. That is basically networking 101. Mistake number 3. I always thought that someone at every point of time is going to tell me what I have to do and how I have to do it. That's how corporates work, right? तुम्हारा एक boss होता है who is going to always tell you कि क्या करना है, किस तरह से करना है. Your job is just to do that work, and then your boss is going to check if you have done it okay or not. And if you have not done it okay, then he's going to give you some feedback, and it's your job to sort of make it better and get back to your boss, right? Like that's how you would think that corporates work, right? Big mistake. That's not how corporates work. More often than not, you will be thrown into a problem and you will be asked to figure things out yourself. Because तुम्हारा जो बॉस होगा या जो मैनेजर होगा उसको भी कुछ नहीं आइडिया है कि कैसे करना है वो प्रॉब्लम. एंड दैट इज योर रियल वैल्यू एड टू नॉट कीप आस्किंग योर बॉस कि भैया ये कैसे करना है, इस प्रॉब्लम को कैसे सॉल्व करना है, बट खुद से तुम अपना सोल्यूशन डिजाइन करो और फिर तुम जाओ एक प्रपोजल लेके अपने बॉस के पास या मैनेजर के पास. टेल देम दैट दिस इज हाउ आई थिंक वी कैन अप्रोच दिस इशू, डू यू थिंक दैट्स राइट और नॉट. इट्स समथिंग दैट आई लर्न्ड द हार्ड वे. इनिशियली मुझे लगता था कि कोई मुझे बताएगा, एंड ऑब्वियसली आई वुड कम आउट एज समवन हु इज नॉट प्रोएक्टिव, हु डजंट टेक इनिशिएटिव. एंड इन कंसल्टिंग this learning has helped me a lot actually, because consulting में ना होता ये है कि when a client gives you a problem, they'll just give you a problem and they'll ask you to solve it, and more often than not you as a consultant would not have any background about even the industry that problem is coming from. So from scratch you have to figure out what the problems of that industry are, then you have to digest what the problem of the client is, then you have to structure and bring up a solution for that person. That's how at every level every corporate works. So stop expecting that someone at every step will keep telling you कि कैसे करना है और क्या करना है, and then you will have to do that thing. No, you have to figure out things yourself and do things yourself. That's when you bring real value to the company. Mistake number 4. When I did not understand something, I was too hesitant to speak up and say that I did not understand something. Or when I did not know something, I always thought that it is my job to know it. I shouldn't say that I don't know it. Rather, I should figure out things myself. Again, it's a very inefficient process and it has bitten me quite a bit. Because what happens is when someone has explained something to you, अगर तुमने कोई question नहीं पूछा है या अगर तुमने कुछ बताया नहीं है कि this is not something that you are aware of, then the other person has already in his or her mind assumed कि तुम्हें सब समझ आ गया है, okay? So now when they're expecting the work from you, they're expecting a full proof, like a perfect piece of work, purely based on what they are expecting and what you have promised to them unknowingly. So उसके बाद जब उन्हें वो काम मिलता है, when they see that you have not understood and तुमने कुछ भी सा करके भेज दिया है, they would think that you are incompetent. जबकि the truth is कि तुम्हें तो समझ में भी नहीं आया था, तुमने तो फिर भी कुछ करके दिया है, right? So that's a huge gap in understanding and communication, which can be avoided if you raise your voice and tell people that, this is something that I don't know of. So it's kind of managing expectations. अगर तुम बताओगे कि तुम्हें समझ नहीं आया है, then someone is going to take some time and make you understand. And hopefully this time you will have a better understanding, and whatever work it is that you have to do, you will do with much more clarity and to the point. This is a lesson that I've learned not just in consulting but quite a bit while working in the West. US and UK types जगह में ना लोग बहुत independent and बहुत vocal होते हैं. Like they're not at all hesitant or shy in saying that they don't know something, they're very vocal about it. While I feel like in Asia, we just think that हमें सब कुछ पता होना चाहिए. क्यों भाई, क्यों पता होना चाहिए? It's okay to not know everything. तुम्हारा जॉब ये नहीं है कि तुम सब कुछ जानो. तुम्हारा जॉब ये है कि तुम जानने की कोशिश करते रहो और जानने के बाद जो तुम्हारा काम है वो तुम सही से करो, right? So yeah, just something for you guys to keep in mind as well. Mistake number 5. I thought that good work itself is enough. No, don't make that mistake. Good work is bare minimum. It's a table stake. अच्छा काम तो तुम्हें किसी कंपनी में करना ही है. That is why you have been hired in that company. But that alone is not going to matter if you are not selling yourself, if you're not building your brand reputation, and if you're not talking about your good work to others as well. Think of it this way. एक product का आइडिया है तुम्हारे पास जो कि तुमने बनाया बहुत रिसर्च करके, बहुत अच्छा प्रोडक्ट है, एक बहुत अमेजिंग सा प्रॉब्लम वो प्रोडक्ट सॉल्व करता है और तुमने उसको लॉन्च कर दिया. But what use is that product if people don't know about it, right? Who is going to use it? Where are you going to get the proof from? Corporates में भी exactly वैसा ही होता है. You are the product. By doing good work, you are building a better and better product, but that product is absolutely of no use if other people don't know about it. So it's your job to go and talk to others about the kind of good work that you are doing. Don't be shy in selling yourself. जब year-end evaluations होता है, don't undersell yourself. And I have undersold myself quite a bit. Just assuming कि काम तो मैं अच्छा कर ही रही हूँ, मतलब I should be humble, right? I shouldn't be too boastful of whatever I've done or whatever I've achieved. And that has not really worked for me. And I don't think it works anymore at all in the corporates. So think about it. When you guys are doing good work, I want you guys to really market yourself as well to managers, to leaders, to your colleagues, to everyone. Just go and talk about all the good work that you are doing. इससे मुझे एक किस्सा याद आया. One of the times I was working with this one guy who got an accelerated promotion. उस साल मैंने उसके साथ एक प्रोजेक्ट में बहुत क्लोजली काम किया था एंड मुझे उस टाइम ये रियलाइज हुआ था कि मुझे उस बंदे से हार्ड स्किल्स में काफी बेटर आता है in terms of financial valuation, modeling, Excel. I knew a lot more than that guy. And throughout the project, I was the one who was teaching him a lot of things. And of course, he would have learned from other aspects as well. But just because this guy was so good at talking about the work that he has done with others, he got promoted. And of course, उस time पे मुझे लगा कि यार ये तो unfair है ना मेरे लिए. But the truth was, I never attended parties. I never got any avenues to talk about the work that I'm doing to other people. Naturally, it came out that उस project में जबकि मुझे ज़्यादा आता था, it appeared that उस बंदे ने सब कुछ संभाला हुआ था. Naturally, he got the promotion. So that was a big learning for me कि आगे जाके भी whenever I'm doing good work, I shouldn't be shy or I shouldn't be in my own shell. I should आगे बढ़ के tell everyone about the good work that I'm doing. And that has helped me. In future, I have gotten a lot of visibility based on the work that I have done only because I was less shy about talking about the work to others. Mistake number 6, saying yes to too many things. I think that happens to all of us. And मेरे साथ ये बहुत ज़्यादा होता था जब मेरे फर्स्ट जॉब में जब हमने जस्ट काम करना शुरू ही किया था. You know, a lot of people, seniors like a manager or a senior manager would come and tell you, अरे can you help me in this? And इतने बड़े लोगों को ना कैसे करो, right? मुझे लगता था कि यार ये बोल रहे हैं मुझे तो it's not a question. I mean, they're good enough, like nice, kind enough to ask me the question, but it is more like an instruction. अगर बड़े लोगों ने कुछ बोला है मुझे करने को, तो मुझे वो करना ही पड़ेगा. But that was a wrong approach because later I realized that a lot of these people, when they come to you asking for something, they don't know that you are involved in 10 other projects. They don't know if you have any bandwidth or not. They're genuinely just asking that question, do you have bandwidth to support this? And it's your job at that point of time to go back to him or her and educate them what else you are doing and tell them that you may or may not be able to take up that additional piece of work क्योंकि सही में bandwidth नहीं है. That is way better than taking up too much on your plate and not do good at any of those things. थोड़ा सा expectation management की बात आ जाती है यहाँ पे because you know what happens is when you take too many things on your plate, obviously you will not be able to do a good job at all of those things. Versus you take 2 or 3 things and do a really good job. Human psychology ऐसी है, human tendency ऐसी है that people always tend to remember things that you have not done well or you have done poorly for a longer amount of time versus when you have done a good work. Because good work, like I said, it's a table stake, वो तो करना ही है, right? वो expectation हो जाता है. So if you have taken 10 things on your plate and you have put in only 50% to each of those things, it means that you have worked way too hard and still not been able to impress anyone who you have worked with. Versus if you have taken 2 or 3 projects and you have given your 120% in those 2 or 3 projects, you have at least impressed 2 or 3 people. And that is how you build equity in the firm, and that goes a long way. The last mistake number 7, is not having a point of view or not speaking up with your point of view in a meeting room. जब मैंने जस्ट काम करना शुरू किया था ना, तब I used to be very intimidated by senior people. They were all such great personalities and they talked in a way to client. ऐसा लगता था कि उन्हें सब कुछ आता है, so assured of their own selves. And जब भी हम किसी मीटिंग में जाते थे, मुझे ऐसा लगता था कि मेरा काम है सिर्फ सुनना कि क्या चल रहा है मीटिंग में, मेरा काम है नोट्स लेना कि डिस्कशन क्या हुई, डिसीजंस क्या निकले, एंड देन डू द वर्क विच आई वुड बी आस्क्ड टू डू. बट दैट इज एग्जैक्टली वेयर आई वॉज रॉन्ग. बिकॉज कई बार ऐसा होता था कि मीटिंग्स में डिस्कशन जब चल रहा होता था तब मुझे लगता था कि यार मैंने जो रिसर्च किया है या मैंने जो एनालिसिस किया है उसके हिसाब से ये वाला चीज सही नहीं लग रहा, सो शुड आई स्पीक अप और नॉट. एंड आई नेवर डिड, क्योंकि मुझे लगता था कि यार मेरे पास सिर्फ 1 ही साल का वर्क एक्सपीरियंस है, मतलब व्हाट डू आई नो, दीज गाइज हैव लाइक 5, 7, 8 years ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस, इन्हें तो ऑब्वियसली पता है, हु एम आई टू क्वेश्चन व्हाट दे आर डिस्कसिंग, राइट? बट दैट्स वेयर आई वाज रॉन्ग, बिकॉज एज अ जूनियर मोस्ट पर्सन I was the one who was doing all the work. I was the one who was closest to the data, closest to the analysis. बाकी सबको तो मेरे से information मिल रहा था ना कि actual data क्या कह रहा है. वो लोग, those guys were not getting their hands dirty in the data. So I had those insights which a lot of my managers didn't, and it should have been my responsibility to speak up and put my point of view in the room. But I didn't a lot of times, and which meant कि अगर मुझे लगता था कि there's a better way to solve a problem, that would get lost somewhere and we would approach the problem suboptimally. Plus, one another big benefit that you get when you have a voice in a room is people notice you, right? And again, I go back to the point of doing good work versus marketing. When you are speaking up, when you are sharing your point of view, people see that like you are marketing yourself as well. People know that okay, तुम कुछ काम कर रहे हो, तुम्हारा point of view है, which means you really are doing some good work. And then they will remember you for a longer term. Even seniors will remember you as for the longer term if you have a voice. Today, now that I'm a manager and I work at a manager director kind of a level, I realize this a lot more because I also prefer those people in a team who have the ability to speak up in front of clients or who have the ability to own things, who have the ability to share their point of view strongly, because that helps me as a manager as well in getting some added perspective. Okay, so those were the mistakes that I wanted to talk about. I'm sure इससे भी कई ज़्यादा mistakes मैंने करी है life में. But as you can see, right, these are some of the things which you learn only when you have gotten your hands dirty, and you learn by committing some of these mistakes. And these are not things that everyone talks about on a day-to-day level, which was precisely why I wanted to make this video आप लोगों को बताने के लिए कि इस तरह की issues आते हैं life में, and I'm sure some of you have faced them as well. But now that you know of these mistakes of mine, I'm hoping that you can learn from it and not repeat it. If you like this video, definitely hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for any reason, and I'm going to see you soon. Till then, bye.